Welcome to BBS Pragati channel. In this session, let's have a look at analog electronics. Before we delve into the topic, let's look into uh, the earlier aspects of the subject. In early 1980s, it was it was expected that analog circuits will not be there anymore because new digital signal processing algorithms were becoming uh, the order of the day and new technologies were becoming the order of the day. But if you see, analog designers are in great demand today. Let's understand the reasons behind it. Essentially, naturally occurring signals are analog in nature. So, the signal is naturally analog in nature. But what we do is we convert it into a digital signal and then we use a digital signal processor to process it. But these analog signals are very small in nature, so they have to be amplified to a substantial level, and then you have to use filters to remove any unwarranted signals. Then you have to have a ADC and a DSP. That means the front end of the circuit of the system is analog in nature. Again, digital communication. If you look at the binary data, there are only two levels, and if you use these two levels, you need larger bandwidth. But if you club those two levels, okay, and convert it into a four level data and transmit it, what happens? Now the time period is twice. That means the frequency is half. So the bandwidth has become half. So that means that the bandwidth requirement has become less. So in such a scenario, what is very important? You have to use a high precision digital to analog converter and a ADC. Another important use of analog electronics is disk drive electronics. And another thing is wireless receivers, which has become the order of the day. There's no person who doesn't have a mobile phone of late. So the mobile signals are wireless in nature and they operate at a center frequency of 1 gigahertz or higher. And at this frequency, the signal is accompanied by noise and large interference. So whatever low level signal is arrived at the receiver should be amplified and and processed and then only transmitted. So what are the challenges which an analog designer face? He has to look into the trade-offs between noise, frequency of operation, tolerance of interference, power dissipation and cost. This is the principal challenge which an analog designer faces, vice versa the wireless industry faces. Because the wireless industry faces, the designer also faces it. Okay. Now optical receivers is one more point where where analog designers are of great demand. So if you want to transmit this high speed data over long distances, cables generally prove inadequate because they have limited bandwidth and considerable attenuation. So in this case, what we do, we convert the signal to be transmitted into a light energy using a laser diode and transmit it through optical fiber. And at the receiver end, you have a photodiode which converts this light energy into electric signal, and then you have the receiving system. So state of art optical receivers operate in large in a higher frequency range, that is 10 to 40 gigabits per second. Again, sensors is one more area where analog designers are of great demand. Analog RF microwave designers are of great demand. So every mobile has an accelerometer that actually allows you to change the orientation of the image. And one more important area is microprocessors and memories. Even microprocessors and memories draw upon a great deal of analog design expertise. Why? Many issues related to distribution and timing of data and clocks across a large chip mandate that you have to look at the high speed signals as analog waveforms. So any non-idealities in signal, power interconnects they have, as well as package parasitics, require a solid understanding of device physics, and it requires an understanding of analog design. So again, semiconductor memories employ high speed sense amplifiers which necessitates analog techniques. Similarly, almost most of the large designs, the microprocessors and memories, they are high speed digital designs, and these high speed digital designs is in fact a analog design because of all the factors that have mentioned. In the next session, we'll look into CMOS characteristics, and subsequently we'll enter into the design aspects. Thank you. Thanks a lot, and I wish you all the best.